Welcome to the Corporate Learning Network videocast. I'm Jeff Cattell. Today I have with me Mike Weigold, Associate Dean for Undergraduate Affairs and Enrollment Management at the College of Journalism and Communications at the University of Florida. Mike will be speaking at our event, Effective Marketing for Online Education, December 9th through the 11th in San Diego. Mike, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
So I understand you're going to be speaking about delivering excellent learner experience and engagement in online education. And one of the things that I think people think about, especially as marketers, is that that's sort of where, it makes or breaks things in terms of getting these students. But you suggest that it really has to do with delivering great customer service, or in this case, great student experience and customer experience. So can you explain what you mean by that?
Certainly. So first, it's a pleasure to be talking with you and with the audience for this video. At the University of Florida, our college really got into significant presence in distance interaction about 3 years ago. And like many schools, we were sort of new about it. And our belief was we needed to try out different approaches, different ways of doing it. And one of those approaches, I think, emphasized the marketing component of things, is getting the word out and establishing a strong advertising presence for our programs. Another approach was less focused on that, but more on investing in the technologies for our classes and investing in the student experience. And my view now, after 3 years of this, is the evidence is pretty clear. Students really want the very best online experience they can get. And when you can provide that to them, you don't really have a marketing problem anymore. At that point, you're delivering on the promise that you made to those students, and the word of mouth becomes phenomenal.
Great. And can you explain some of the things that you're specifically doing at the College of Journalism and Communications at the University of Florida to deliver that excellent customer experience you're talking about?
Sure. So we've tried to challenge the idea that distance education means asynchronous, watching PowerPoints that were pre-recorded, and very low interactions with both other students in the program and with a faculty member. What we've done is we've established a program where the content is live at all times. Students have appointment times for class. They link to one another and their instructors in Adobe Connect. And in doing that, they really develop a cohort experience. So they really feel like they know their fellow students, and they think their instructors know them as people. When we started this, frankly, I wasn't certain it was going to be the right way to go. I wasn't sure if busy professionals who were taking classes in their spare time would really embrace appointment times for class. In fact, they love it. They rave about the technology we use. They rave about the quality of their classes, and they rave about feeling like they're part of something, part of a group of fellow students and instructors who are trying to help them get better.
Okay. Now, we're sort of talking about students in general, but I want to sort of shift the focus to these prospective students, which is obviously a lot of, I think, your role in attracting these people. So talking about their preferences and behaviors, have those shifted in the last few years? And if so, what are the changes that you've noticed?
Well, I think students are getting savvier about distance education. For those of us in the marketing and advertising field, we know that in the introductory phase of any new technology, it doesn't seem to much matter which brand you buy. At that point, you just want to sort of get in, like in the early days of tablets or in the early days of mobile phones. But as a lot of different companies, and in this case, higher ed organizations, become involved in something, then students start to ask, what's the point of differentiation? Why is this program better than this other program? And that's where we think the focus on the student experience is going to make the difference at the University of Florida.
Okay. And can you talk about specifically talking about marketing channels? So I know that there's, lots of opportunities with even using online things like, social media and other forms of outreach like email. So with attracting these students and talking about their behaviors and preferences that are changing, as you mentioned, and their savviness, what kind of marketing channels are you going to be using more going forward?
Well, that's been the interesting thing about this program, is that the marketing presence has been relatively small compared to some other programs in our college. We've used Facebook and Google AdWords, and we cooperate with our university partners in terms of developing campaigns to reach those folks. But in truth, a big draw for our programs has come from two of our most loyal customer bases. Alumni. So we have tens of thousands of alumni from our college, all of whom now want the new digital skill set that we can provide them in these distance programs. All we have to do is reach them by email or newsletter, the same channels we've used with them in the past, and they're really excited about this chance to re-engage with their alma mater, come back to the Gator Nation, and get a new skill set that'll help them to get better jobs. The second group that's been very attracted to our programs thus far, and I should emphasize, these are exclusively graduate programs at the moment, not undergraduate. So the second big market for us has been our undergraduate population. They're super excited because we're doing things in distance education that we would be very challenged to do in on-campus programs. So in a sense, they're better. They're not just a different delivery technology. Distance has allowed us to do things we could never have done in the past.
Wow, that does make a lot of sense. Sort of going off that point in terms of marketing channels, another thing that I always like to ask people in online ed and specifically in marketing is the tools and technologies that they're using. And there are lots of things out there to, measure, student engagement and this experience that you're talking about. So can you kind of give us an overview of the things that you use?
Sure. That's a big part of how we approach the program. So we are relentless in assessing the student experience. And that means, yes, of course, we do the standard teaching evaluations that every institution does now on a regular basis. But we've developed our own in-house measures too, because we feel these in-house measures better tap into what's important in the online environment. It may be okay for an on-campus student if the feedback that they get about their work takes a week or 2 weeks. Our expectation is that feedback should be rapid, thorough, helpful, and constructive. So we ask students about that. We do that all the time. And we let our instructors know that's what we're expecting of them. Part of our investment in the student experience is we do pay our adjunct instructors, I think, a better salary than they're likely to find at many institutions. And the reason for that is simple. When we find the right people, we want to make them happy. We want them to be here. And we want to reward them for engaging in our students in the best way possible. So for us, understanding if that's happening is crucial, and we do it all the time.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Kind of going completely in a different realm right now. One thing that I know is very hot in education in general is this idea of MOOCs and massive open online courses. It seems to get all this buzz, but maybe a lot of institutions I've talked to have thought about it, haven't implemented it for a variety of reasons. So I'm wondering for you, how has that affected the marketing efforts? Is that something that that prospective students are looking for when you're reaching out to them, and what kind of offerings do you have in that sort of realm?
Well, the University of Florida, of course, is a very large university. We have about 55,000 students, thousands of faculty members, perhaps more majors than any other university in the United States. I think somebody told me that at one time. I'm not going to swear to that. But we have a lot. The University of Florida, like many institutions, is taking a variety of approaches, and some of that absolutely involves MOOCs. We do have a contract with Coursera. We're developing courses for that space. We even have one in our college on rock and roll, of all topics, that's being developed, and the faculty member who's going to teach that spent his summer traveling throughout the Memphis, rock touchstones and interviewing people, and we think it'll be a great course. That said, I'm kind of the anti-MOOC guy, and what I mean by that is we know that MOOCs, as far as student engagement, are rather low. They tend to start out with tens of thousands of people. That gets whittled down to a much smaller number by the end of the course. Our approach is different. We limit class sizes. We're very conscious of that because we want to make sure that the experience that students have in our distance program matches what they would get in residence. We are not looking to compromise in any way because of the platform we've chosen. And I'm not here to judge. I think there are likely to be MOOCs that serve their purposes very well and do that very well. My approach has been to say, It's okay to charge students for content if that content is life transforming. That's what we're shooting for. We want a quality of educational experience that helps people change their jobs, get a better job, move up in the corporate hierarchy, help their small business to grow, help a nonprofit to be more effective. We think if we deliver on that promise, people are not really going to be that upset that they're paying for that. So MOOCs have a really good purpose of their own, but it's not what I shoot for in the program that I supervise.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Well, that's all the time we have today, so thanks, Mike. That was Mike Weigold, Associate Dean for Undergraduate Affairs and Enrollment Management at the College of Journalism and Communications at the University of Florida. For more information on Mike or any of the other speakers at our conference, Effective Marketing for Online Education, you can view an agenda by clicking the Download Now button below. Thanks for watching.